Shabbat Shalom. That was pretty good. I'm not even going to make you repeat it. That was really good. I want to welcome everyone tonight to Suburban Temple, Kol Ami. Lots of familiar faces and a few new ones, and it's always wonderful to see everybody. Rabbi Van is at camp. She is still at camp this week. I forgot to mention that last week. So she is enjoying. Come on in. Don't sit in the back, though, because you get called on. So she is finishing up at camp. She will be back next week. But for now, we are going to have a service with me. I am Deb Rogers. I'm the cantorial soloist, for those of you who don't know me. And we also have a special treat tonight. Dave Aaron is going to give our Dvar Torah in a little bit. Right? That's what I said. So let us start by getting ourselves into that Shabbat groove. So first of all, if you haven't done this yet, get ready to take a couple of breaths and to just settle into Shabbat. So the first thing we're going to do is just get that breath in, nice and big. Fill up your lungs and try to breathe out and try to melt out that stress a little bit. It's been a long week. I don't know about you, but I really need this. On your second breath, go ahead, bring that breath in. Put everything that stressed you out this week into that exhale and just let it out. And then on our third breath, let's breathe in the beauty and the wonder and the special spice that is Shabbat. Oh, that feels so good. Our opening song tonight is Buen Shabbat. This is our Ladino song by Flori Jagoda. It is not in your prayer book. I think most of you probably know this by now, and if not, you can lie on the lies. Lie, 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 lie. La 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 la. Buen Shabbat, buen Shabbat, con salud y vida. Buen Shabbat, buen Shabbat, buen Shabbat a toda la familia. Lai dai dai, lai dai 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 dai, lai dai 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 dai, la 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 la. Buen Shabbat. Buen Shabbat, con salud y vida, años muchos, con paz y alegría. Lai, dai, dai, la, 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 lai, dai, dai, lai, dai, lai, 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 lai. So that means on Sabbath, we wish good health, good life, and many, many years of peace and happiness to the entire family. And Flori didn't actually write that one. This is maybe not a known fact, but her grandmother sang it to her, and she brought it to us. She sort of codified it into the modern repertoire. So happy to share that. I would like to invite up Joey Bauer now, who is going to help us with the prayers for the candles and the Kiddush. You good? Yeah. All right. Come on over, and here's a mic for you. Okay, and just come right up next to it. There
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, Joey. I forgot to invite people for the other ones. We just started doing this in early July. You can see the candles set up on either side of the sanctuary here. And these are for you. One thing we learned, please come on up while I'm explaining this. Anybody who wishes to light candles, come and join us now. So during the pandemic, a lot of us realized that we really enjoyed lighting our candles at home. And we wanted to find a way to bring that joy into the sanctuary itself. And so please come on up and don't feel limited. People can share. There are plenty of candles for all, okay? Now, Joey is going to read for us. This reading is found on page 2 in your book. Go ahead.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and into our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Do you want to help? Nice. Okay, stay here. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
The heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because if God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Let me turn this for you so you've got words. There you go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. L'chaim, want to take a sip? Don't drink it all. I'm kidding. Go ahead, we'll put it down. Can I give you a hand down?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you, Joey. Our opening reading is not in your book. We cannot merely pray. We cannot merely pray to God to end war, For the world was made in such a way that we must find our own path to peace within ourselves and within our neighbors. We cannot merely pray to God to root out prejudice, for we already have eyes with which to see the good in all people, if we would only use them rightly. We cannot merely pray to God to end starvation, for we already have the resources with which to feed the entire world if we would only use them wisely. We cannot merely pray to God to end despair, for we already have the power to clear away slums and give hope if we would only use our power justly. We cannot merely pray to God to end disease, for we already have great minds with which to search out these cures and healings if we would only use them constructively. Therefore, we pray instead for strength, determination, and willpower. To do instead of merely pray, to become instead of merely to wish, that our world may be safe and that our lives may be blessed. It's by Jack Reamer. We are going to join together in the Baruch Hu. I just realized I don't have the page number for this. So 28, thank you very much. We rise as able for the Baruch Hu together. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamavorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed. We read together. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. We join together in the Shema on the next page. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. We'll continue with the V'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha vedibata bam beshivdecha bevetecha uvlechtecha vaderech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot beinenecha uchtavtam Amezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim Lihiot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. We turn now to page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot oseh pele, Nora tehilot oseh pele, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, bokei yam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze'elianu ve'amru, Ze'elianu ve'ameru, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Yai lai 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 lai, Yai lai 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 lai, Yai lai 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 lai, Yai lai 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 lai. We're going to continue now with what Rabbi Van likes to call our nighttime lullaby, our Hashkivenu. It's found on page 42. The Hebrew words are there. The English words are a little bit different. And Rabbi likes to remind us, and I always think of this whenever I sing this song, about how now we have lights. We don't think of how scary the nighttime is because we can light it up at will. But back in the day, when this was written, the night was kind of a scary place to be. And prayers such as this can be very comforting. So let's sing it together, and I hope that those who are in need of a shelter of peace feel that shelter wrapping around them as we sing it. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom, vehamidenu shomreinu lechayim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 So our next song is Vishamru. I believe if you turn the page, you will find that on the next page. Vishamru is truly our Shabbat song. One of the versions of this that I know, I'm not going to sing it tonight because it's more a song than a prayer, is called Slow Me Down, and it has one verse of the Vishamru in it. But one of the words in the verses says, I've got piles on my piles and this unfinished, so what else is new? And I know a lot of us kind of sail through our weeks like that. And so when we get to Shabbat and we've taken those breaths in, this song is the one where I always feel like we land with that peace and that refreshment that is Shabbat. So join me together in singing Vishamru. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat Lidorotam Brit Olam Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat Lidorotam Brit Olam Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael Oti leolam Ki sheshet yamim Asa Adonai Et hashamayim ve'et haaretz Uvayom hashvi shavat vayi nafash Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat Lidorotam Brit Olam Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. We are going to turn now to our central prayer, the tefillah, which just means the prayer. And it's also known as the Amidah because we rise as able in body or in spirit as we say this. It begins with a little meditation at the beginning, just asking for God to listen pretty much and getting us centered. And then it continues. It goes on pages. Boy, I had this all written down. It's not on mine. Somebody want to give me a page for Adonai? What they said, page 46 to 52. I guess I don't have to repeat it because if you're online, you've got slides and you don't need the page numbers. So we are just going to continue to chant straight through, and I invite you to rise in body or in spirit. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agite hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el hagadol hagibor v'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel chasadim tovim, Vekonei hakol, Vezocher chaste avot ve'imahot, Umevi geula livnei v'neihem, Lema'an shemo be'ahava. Melech chozer u'moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rav lehoshia. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umidom elach, Melech meimit umechaye, Umatmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yahallelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. We turn to page 55 and join together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. We continue with Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atah hu melech hadot lechol hashalom, ki atah hu melech hadot lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. We'll continue now with our prayer for healing. And again, I do not have the page number. You guys are good. Can you guys come up here again? So Sandy and and Karen led the service last week, so I don't know if they memorized all the page numbers or what, but 353, 253. Thank you very much. Is where we're going to say the prayer for healing. And this is important whether you are in need of, you know, somebody who is in need of prayers for healing of body or spirit. It's been tough for many with everything going on in the world, as well as illness still continuing. So, as my hand passes over the congregation, I invite you to share a name that you would like to lift up with permission for the congregation. Isabella, Jane, and Michael. As we sing, hold them in your heart and in your prayers, and we'll sing together. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Makor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. We take a moment now for personal prayer and reflection. Yiul ratzon imre fi. Yiul ratzon imre fi. V'hegyon libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri v'goali. Omen. words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart be acceptable before you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Ose shalom bimromav, Huyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru, ve'imeru. Amen. I'd like to invite Dave Aaron forward to share the Devar Torah with us tonight. If you don't know Dave, he is one of our teachers in our learning program, our tent. He's very popular for his history lessons. And just a little plug for that. He's teaching again this year, and registration starts soon. So let me make sure. Is this on, Jake? Yeah. Okay. Here.
Shabbat Shalom. Parshat Balak has to be, without a doubt, one of the strangest parshas in the Torah. It is only one of two in which thank you, Miriam. It's only one of two in which there are talking animals. Of course, at the beginning, we have the serpent in Eden. Now, serpents were often symbols of wisdom, although you can question that in Eden. But as a physician, I think of the caduceus, the serpents intertwined as the symbol of physicians and medical wisdom. In our parshat tonight, we have possibly the antithesis of wisdom, which is a talking donkey or a talking ass. And if that weren't bad enough, given, and I apologize for the misogynistic times, it was a female donkey. And that's about as humble a beast as you could have back in those days. So here's the story. Balak is the king of Moab. He's worried about the Israelites and that they're going to conquer him. He seeks a soothsayer, Balaam, a prophet of Mesopotamian or alien gods, to curse the Hebrews, because Balaam is known. When he curses, people stay cursed. God tells Balaam, no, you can't do that. Well, Balak ups the ante, puts more pressure, offers him more. God relents, said, okay, you can go, but you can only do what I say to do. So on the way, he has saddled his donkey, and for reasons that are unclear to me, it appears that God's mind changed and he got very angry, perhaps because there were a couple of Balak's henchmen escorting him to make sure that Balaam did exactly what Balak wanted him to do. Anyway, God's anger flares. He puts an angel in front of the donkey. The donkey, humble as she was, can see the angel, which Balaam cannot, and turns aside. Balaam, wham, hits the donkey. This happens 3 times. Finally, the donkey says, so what are you doing this to me for? have I ever been like this before? You've been riding me for years. And then God suddenly appears, or makes the angel appear, and Balaam is kind of chastened, and he decides he can't really curse the Israelites as he was paid to do. Balak takes him to another place. Maybe this view will help you, to be in a position to curse. And instead, what he utters, what God puts in his mouth, Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkanotecha Israel. How goodly are your tents, O Jacob, your dwellings, O Israel. In the Mishkan, no less. So this is a prophet of an alien God quoted in the Mishkan Tefillah. So what's happened? A curse has been transformed into a blessing. Now it's kind of interesting. There's a parallel story that happened many years earlier. Another person saddled up his donkey, went off to the mountain to do something thought he was bidden by God to do, ran into some difficulties along the way, and was stopped and ended up doing exactly the opposite. And that's Abraham stopping his sacrifice of Isaac. It's also very interesting that both of these folks, Abraham and Balaam, are basically opposites. And in the Pirkei Avot, which we are reading in Torah study, special plug, Saturday morning, we always have fun. It says, anyone in whom are there these three traits is one of the disciples of Abraham our father. But if he bears three other traits, the opposites, he is one of the disciples of Balaam the wicked. So you've got, complete opposites. So what can we learn from all this? Well, this is a world that is filled with curses. And whether those curses are in the form of violence, pain, suffering, indifference, we are just surrounded by them. And yet, blessings abound if we have our eyes open to see them. And that's the lesson of the donkey. Balaam, as smart as he was, couldn't see them. He was willfully ignorant. We have to be open to see the blessings, no matter what's going on in the world. Just think about that the next time you drive and as an old geezer like myself, unwittingly spur road rage because I'm driving only 5 miles per hour above the speed limit. Well, what's your reaction? To curse this guy, this idiot. But who's helped by that? Nobody. Maybe you even think, okay, I'm going to slow down. That'll get him. And maybe not now that anyone in Ohio could just carry a gun, but I mean, who's helped? In fact, when we offer blessings for the people around us, we invite blessings to ourselves from the source of blessing. And when we offer curses, we turn away from God. Think back to Abraham. God says to him, go forth from your land. This is from Lech Lecha. I will make a great nation of you and will give you blessing. Be a blessing. This isn't just descriptive. This is an obligation. We are obliged to bless. Rabbi Shai Held says that Jewish theology insists that those of us who have received gifts are intended to pass them on. We are intended to be channels for blessing and goodness rather than receptacles. So we have plenty of blessings in here. If you want some others, I'll be happy to give you some references. But I'd rather tell you a little bit about, and I just decided to do this while I was sitting here. So I am just incredibly blessed. My wife of 51 years now blessed me back then. On our 51st anniversary, she got me a mug that says, "This is the anniversary of the best decision you ever made." And I believe she was absolutely correct. I could not have gotten through medical school and residency without her. It's no question. Well, 3 months ago, at 3 a.m, my wife has a heart attack, and she punches me awake and is able to get out. "I can't breathe. Breathe for me." And here I am at 3 a.m. doing CPR on my wife, waiting, and in between breaths, calling the paramedics who came. And anyway, she did okay eventually, but it was pretty close. The fact that she is alive is due to me. And I was blessed by being able to do CPR. And I was the right person in bed with her, thank goodness. You know, blessing is not just words, it's action. Being there when someone needs it, that's a blessing. Providing comfort when someone needs it, that's a blessing. And if you are here tonight or out in Zoom land, you already know what to do. You don't need me to tell you. Shabbat Shalom.
Wow. I didn't know that story. So it was, no, I was going to make a bad joke about who was in bed with no, I'm not even going there. But we're so glad that she's okay. I thought about sharing a song about a donkey to go with your sermon, but instead I decided that I would go with the Abraham side of it. And I'm going to sing Lechi Lach for you. If you know this one, it might even be in the back of your book. If somebody is feeling very industrious and wants to look at the Zmirot in the back of the book, you might find the words for Lechi Lach. But it's "You shall be a blessing," which are the words that God uttered to Abraham. 341. Lechi lach to the land that I will show you. Lech lecha to a place you do not know. Lechi lach on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. Lechi lach. your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lech ilach, to the place that I will show you. Lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lechilach. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechilach. We turn now to page 286, I do believe, for the Aleinu prayer. Please rise in body or in spirit. What's that? 283. Oh my goodness. So I printed out my slides and then I didn't use them. So there you go. So please rise in body or in spirit. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else. Va'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz. Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, ushemo echad. You may be seated. We turn now to our time of remembering. The reading I'm going to share is not found in your prayer book. It's by Laura Gilpin from Siddur Kol HaNeshama. Life after death. These things I know, how the living go on living, and how the dead go on living with them. So that in a forest, even a dead tree casts a shadow, and the leaves fall one by one, and the branches break in the wind, and the bark peels off slowly, and the trunk cracks, and the rain seeps in through those cracks, and the trunk falls to the ground, the moss covers it, and in the spring, the rabbits find it and build their nest inside the dead tree, so that nothing is wasted in nature or in love. On this Shabbat, we remember in Shiva, in the first week since their death, Dave Eskenazi, Jeffrey Korach, Byron Krantz. In Shloshim, in the first month since their death, we remember Donald Jacobson, Charlotte Coleman. And we mark the anniversaries of death, the yahrzeits that fall on this Shabbat. James M. Arnstein, Linda Cohn Cohen, Thomas W. Crystal, Adolf Eisner, Sarah S. Evans, Hermine Haver Frankel, Herman S. Friedman, Milton Friedman, Catherine Townley Galvin, Benjamin S. Gerson, Samuel C. Gluchov, Elaine K. Goodman, Florence S. Greenberg, Molly Har Gross, Ben S. Gross, Carol Haas Grossman, William Wolf Hertzmark, Ruth Hibschman, James Hibschman, Nettie Hyman, Jane Iglauer Fallon, Betty Wolf Kahn, Thomas S. Katz, Myra Zeman Katz, Eric Leventhal, Stephen D. Miller, Ruth Miller, Edward S. Reed, Evelyn Korach Royce, Sam H. Siegel, Luba Slodov, Harry H. Weiss, Max Zach. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as together we turn to the mourner's Kaddish on page 294. Please rise in body or in spirit. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'ama divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudisha brechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and give comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say together, amen. You may be seated. I'd like to invite up Rich Silver, who is going to give us our announcements tonight. Just so they don't miss a thing. Can you hold this for me? Thank you.
Right, Shabbat Shalom, everyone
Shabbat Shalom.
here and on Zoom. It's always a pleasure to be here in person. I just had my own story to share, is that we had some sort of meeting of the board, I think, and Rabbi Van was saying, it's great that we can get back together in the temple, but how do we get more people to come to the services? And I said, you ask people to do something, and then they'll come. And since then, I've been getting asked to do these announcements, so it just goes to show something. Right. But I do feel very fortunate to be here tonight, to see people I didn't expect to see, the Galvins, who I don't think I've seen in at least 2.5 years, maybe. David Aaron, who I've known for 25 years, and my slogan is always, if David Aaron is talking, I will go listen to it. And if you haven't taken his classes, consider doing it. And then to see Judy Malone and Jeff Katz, who I've known for 35 years, here for a yard site, is also, it's just special to be here for that. So there's many people to thank for tonight's wonderful service. David Aaron for his Devar Torah, the Crystal family, who donated the Bima flowers in memory of Thomas W. Crystal. Joey Bauer, thank you for beginning the service with the candles and Kaddish. Deb Rogers, who did a wonderful service, and I have to say, whose singing is better every time I hear her. It was wonderful. The announcements. We've had a robust response to the Open Doors membership campaign. Thanks to everyone who has responded quickly and generously. To those who haven't responded, remember, we can't pay the bills without you. Summer gatherings are still going strong. If you're interested in outdoor yoga, farmers market, or hiking, you can find out more about them on the website. Reach out to the office for more information and to register. Save the date, the annual Shabbat Under the Stars will be at a local park to be announced on August 26th. Also keep your eyes peeled for the Our Tent announcements. Rabbi Shana is organizing the faculty and classes, and more information will be available soon. What else? Regarding future services, we're glad to see everyone in person tonight. We'll continue to try to worship outdoors when weather allows. We'll comply with CDC guidelines on masking requirements indicated by the sign on the front door. You can also check the website on Temple Times for the COVID policies. And Rabbi Van will be back next week from camp. I should have said also, it's good to see Bruce Sherman, who has recovered from major surgery, and I haven't really seen since then. So Shabbat Shalom again.
Thank you, Rich. If I don't turn the mic off, I get in trouble. Okay, so our closing song is going to be Adon Olam. Seriously, Deb? I don't have, which is on page 321. Please join me. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Le'et Nasa, B'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'acharei Gitlot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora Adon Olam, Ve'hu Haya, Ve'hu Hoveh, Ve'hu Yiyeh Betifara Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Le'et Nasa, B'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'hu Echad, Ve'ein Sheni, Lahamshilo lahachbira Adon Olam, Beli Reshit, Beli Tachlit, Belo Haot Vehamishra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Le'et Nasa, B'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'hu Eli, Ve'chai Goali, Ve'tzur Chevli Be'etzara Adon Olam, Ve'hu Nisi, Umanosli, Menat Kosi Be'yom Ekra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Le'et Nasa, B'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Be'yado Afkid Ruchi, Be'et Dishan Ve'a'ira Adon Olam, Ve'im Ruchi Geviyati, Adonai li velo ira Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yetzir Nivra, Le'et Nasa, B'chefzo Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam. Please rise in body or in spirit for our final benediction. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May the light of God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom ve'yasem lecha shalom. May God lift God's countenance to you and grant you the gift of shalom, peace. Shabbat Shalom. Now, before we adjourn to our oneg, let's do a quick motzi so that our folks on Zoom can join us. Here we go. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'te'avon and Shabbat Shalom.